All right, hey everybody. I am trying to do another replay. I just upgraded my internet. Let me go and scroll through my shit. But yeah, I just upgraded my internet today, hoping that my PS5 doesn't conk out like it did the past couple of weeks. In the meantime, considering I ain't got no viewers at the moment,
hi, Aloy.
If there's anyone that wants to comment after the fact when I put it on YouTube, please feel free to express your opinions. I may not listen to them, but I will at least look at them. So please express your opinions, your thoughts, and just tell me what you think. This game is not a new game. Many people have played it. This is a naked run through for me, and I will play it until actually the next Metroid game comes out. When that comes out, hopefully I will be set up enough to play it along with everyone else, brand new, naked run, no guides, no nothing. But in the meantime, I'm gonna play the games that I do have. If they have guides, if they have run-throughs, if they have playthroughs, I am not ashamed to look at them. And if anyone has a problem with that, then they can look at someone else's guides. I'm not gonna pander to anyone that wants to be the pure gamist. I've been playing games long enough. I don't care anymore. So it doesn't matter to me. And if it matters to you, I'm not here to try to gain followers, fans, or any of that shit. I'm here to have fun. And if someone has a problem with the way I have fun, well, bye-bye. Go to someone else's channel. Go to someone else who doesn't backseat games or any of that other shit. And no disses to anyone who does any streaming for what they do. I'm just saying that if you don't like the way I stream, then just move along. If you like someone else's stream better than mine, move along. I don't care who likes me, who doesn't. This isn't something that I am doing for like monetization or any of that shit. I've been told for many years I should go ahead and stream because this is some of the stuff that I like to do, and I finally did it. So anyone who doesn't like what I do or how I stream can just move along. With that said, now
goodbye for now, and good luck in the.
I'm gonna go play.
Oh, sorry about that. Too much stew and beer. Mostly beer.
He said mostly beer. Of course, it doesn't matter what time frame or what universe it is. We got whammons, as Knox and Noble would say. But yeah, ladies are always a nice entertainment for us depraved men. And in this case, in this game, another whammon.
Oh, nice.
Of course, the reason a whammon is interested is because, well, a guy wrote this game, or men wrote this game, but
I do. Do I? Do I like it? You know?
men wrote the game, people bought it, men and women. It doesn't matter as long as it sells, right? All right, let me go ahead and progress with the game. I'm still testing whether my internet connection is good or not.
That'd be tight. It's a good day to be one of all mothers chosen.
Stop after 2 brews. You are.
Drunk? Me? No. Sober as a matriarch at a mate blessing.
Of course, we got random speakers talking all kinds of shit.
I'm never going to be random. High matriarchs hate me.
Yo, Mac! It's good to see you, homie. For anyone who may be watching, my homie Mac, one of my first followers on Twitch. I'm glad to see you here, homie. Talk to me, make some interactions. As you know, I'm very new at this shit. I'm just gonna be hanging out. I'm actually gonna make this probably a long stream. You'll probably dip in and out. But I'm glad to see you here, Mac.
Hot as a forest fire.
Get down from there.
Anyway,
Bad enough you're drunk. Why do you have to go climbing houses?
Oh, not
I'm gonna go ahead and play the game.
Get down
I'm
from
not
there.
that.
Oh, that's just what you want, isn't it? For me
I'm not into too much talking to myself.
Climb down.
What you want is for me to have
The past few minutes, I've been trying to
Fine. Stay up on the roof all night if you
be
want.
vocal for any fans that may want to be fans. But unless I see something on screen, I am very bad at talking to myself. So if you don't say anything, I'm gonna be very quiet. Respect to anyone that's watching me. It's just the dork that I am. So
Of course, boss. Just look at it.
play the game. I don't have my 4K up yet, but eventually I will have a capture card that will play all this in 4K. In the meantime, it's going to be in 1080p, and I don't blame you if you don't like that, because when I went from 1080p to 4K, I was very, very biased. People may ask me why I have the name Play All Consoles when I don't play PC games. I love PC, I love computer games. The problem is, I was playing PC games back when we had Doom on shareware on a 1.44 megabyte floppy drive. And it was, you know, even before Doom, we had, what the fuck is the game before that? There was Doom, Wolfenstein, Catacombs 3D. That was one of the first PC, one of the first PC FPS games. And it was fun, but if you were back in the day playing that game and you had an NES, there was no competition. So I have nothing against PC games, and if I get enough money to buy PC games, I will play them. But
What about Vala?
I have over 15 console games in my crib at the moment, and I have even more than that stashed at my mom's crib halfway across the country. If I can ever get those games or those consoles into this crib, I will build one of those massive what do they call it? One of those massive setups that people post on the internet to show all of my console games. But I can't do that at the moment. Hell, I don't even have OBS to be a VTuber and all that other shit. When I can, I've actually been trying to study Blender, Unreal 4, and try to be as cool as the Zoomers that are out there. I think that's the term, Zoomers. I'm an old guy. I guess you got the young kids will call me a boomer and all that other shit. But I am trying to mix up a hobby that I love, which is video games, and something that is new, which is streaming. So anyone who has opinions about what I'm doing, please be free to let me know. I'm streaming now, and if you look at my stream content, you can see I've only been streaming for like 2 months at this point. I also have a Twitter, which is also only about 2 months. My YouTube is a lot older because that was the thing back then, us boomers, as you may know. But please. I ain't even asking you to subscribe. I ain't asking you for no what do they call it, bits or whatever. I ain't asking for no money. All I ask is that you follow me, get me some views. That was my phone going off because I do follow some YouTubers or some ZTuber or VTubers, because I've been trying to learn how to VTube, not just VTube, but also to be a viewer. I want to see how viewers react to VTubers. I want to see how VTubers act to viewers. I am trying to be a content creator, as I don't really know how to do it. So, if you have any consideration for what I'm doing, please let me know. And anyone that may want to be a critic, I have no problem with that. If you are too harsh, I'm just going to ignore you or make content out of you, so please beware of that. Growing up as a kid, I was a trash talker, so if you're going to trash talk me, I just might trash talk you. I don't care. I am trying to figure all of this out. And anyone who likes it, thank you very much. Anyone who doesn't like it, then we can talk some trash. Maybe. I might give you some trash talking to give you some props, or I might ignore you because that is the proper thing to do when people crash your channel, talk some trash, and don't like you. On another note, I've been trying my best not to curse, but let us be very truthful. I cursed more than George Carlin back in the day. So, if you're under 18 or get offended by trash talking with curse words, I'm not going to try to convince you to stay on my channel. Go ahead and run to someone else who's very, what do the kids say? Say so? If you are very say so, as the Japanese term is pronounced, yeah, leave the channel. I don't care. I talk a lot of shit. I do a lot of shit talking. I will curse someone the fuck out. You might even think that I am a cousin or a relative of Samuel L. Jackson because I say motherfucker, fuck, and fucking all that other shit a whole lot. So if that is not your cup of tea, move on along. I'm not going to be offended. In the meantime, I am going to try to play this game with the PS5. I am actually streaming directly from the PS5. I don't have OBS going on right now. I am actually very happy. PS5, PS4 will put chat up on the screen when it comes up. So I don't need to use OBS yet. So if you got something to say it. I will try to respond as best I can. If I miss it, I am very sorry. In the meantime, let's get gaming. Thank you.
They would not go. They gathered on the mountainside to cling to her and prayed, more devoted than ever.
Yeah, I'm tired of listening to this bitch.
Devil raged louder than thunder. In his fury, he came to confront her mother, intending to kill her. She struck him down
her.
forever. As you know,
should I actually listen to all the shit she's saying? Yeah, I can look that shit up online.
Over here.
Oh, okay, there we go.
Come on over, Aloy.
Karst? What are you doing here?
Careful. Pretend like we've never met. I wasn't supposed to trade with outcasts in the wilds, remember?
How could I forget? And how
Such a
generous of
rebel.
you to talk to me now.
Don't be like that. You know I'll be rooting for you in the proving tomorrow. Can't wait to see the looks in some of these faces when you win. And if you need any last-minute supplies, I'm your man.
Of course he's her man. Of course, I'm gonna choose
So,
all the
where's Hart?
options.
I thought you preferred the wilds.
Well, man can't drink alone all the time, can he? Truth is,
I can drink
get
alone.
lonely
I'm drinking
once in a
alone
while.
now.
There, I admitted it.
In case
Don't
anyone
think less
doesn't
of
know, I'm having
I won't hold
a
it
couple
against
beers.
you.
It was bar night
Will you
last
give me a
night.
discount?
I picked up
me. You can't be.
I'm
some
joking,
beers
Karst.
to drink afterwards.
see you.
I got leftovers for
Don't go
today.
soft on me.
And so I'm going to go ahead and enjoy this game. Now that I got my ISP set up correctly.
All right, let's do this.
So I'm gonna drink while I play for today. And now I gotta figure all this shit out. This is I guess I gotta be specific when I say this. This is a naked playthrough. I can't say other shit because people get offended if I say if I said lion playthrough, and that alone might just get me canceled on Twitch. But no, this is a naked playthrough, first time through, no guides, no YouTube. Not to say that I won't do it later, but at the moment, I have no clue how to play this game except for the controls and whatever else that they allowed me to view with the tutorial. But other than that, until I get stuck, it's a blind playthrough or a naked playthrough. Let me say it like that. You know, this is so cool for me because I got my phone sitting next to me. I can hear myself on the TV. I got and anyone. Let me address this now. Anyone who says that I am a hater towards PC games because my call out name is play all consoles. Yes, I love console games. I play a lot of them. I have a lot of them in my rotation. I have no hate for PC games. It's just that when PC games started, they were not the norm. And my PC currently, it's a kick-ass PC, but I only have 19-inch monitors that only do 1080p. What I'm streaming right now off of my PS5 is going to my 55-inch 4K TV. So you cannot, or you should not, blame me for going with the 55-inch 4K versus the 19-inch 1080p. If anyone has a problem with that, address me personally. I actually have, I when I started this Twitch, you can look it up. It's been less than 2 months at this point. My Twitter is less than 2 months at this point. You can look them up. They were, I think I put them on the same day. I am very open to comments, criticisms, whatever. If you get too out of line, I might be an asshole. I'm sorry. No, I'm not. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and try to play this game. if you got some comments with the PS5, it'll show up on my TV. So please interact with me. Otherwise, I am a lot of people will tell you, if you talk to people I know, I have no problem talking to people. The problem I have with my streams, and if you watch my last stream with, what is it? I had to look at the fucking name. Next, Scarlet Nexus. That's what it was. Scarlet Nexus. That was my first test stream of a game full through, and I didn't talk much because I have no problem talking to people. I do have a problem talking to myself because my mind is very, very, I have a very high speed mind, and for me it is very, there's movies. If I talk to myself in my mind, it goes a lot faster than my mouth can move. So I have problems talking to myself, which is why I didn't talk much during the stream for Scarlet Nexus. I had a couple of friends, a relative, that told me I need to talk more to gather attention to my streams. So yeah, anyone that's joining this and ain't saying nothing, it's gonna sound like I'm crazy because I'm talking to myself. I can't help it. So, fuck it. Anyway. I'm not gonna buy any of this shit at the moment because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
See you later, Karst.
Good luck.
Good luck. That's what he says. Also, I might put this up as a poll on my Twitter for RPG games because I play a lot of RPGs. JRPGs, American RPGs. Would it be more helpful to do the level grinding on stream, or if I do that by myself and then go back to stream after I've done level grinding? You can find my Twitter, my YouTube, all this up. It sounds like a rookie, or not a rookie. It sounds like plenty of people who do YouTubes hit the smash, like, subscribe. This is new for me, don't do the subscribe, don't do the bits on Twitch. I'm not trying to make money at the moment. I am actually just trying to get followers. I just want people to enjoy the content I make. And when I actually get to a point where I am making content that people like, then I'll monetize it. That is a fucking hard word to say. But no, I'm not going to try to make money off this right away. But when I do get to a point where I am making content that people want to subscribe, want to pay bits to, then I will activate all that shit. And then I will actually start putting that money towards making, like, there's VTubers who pay 3D artists, live 2D artists to make their avatars. I'm not my first avatar I'm gonna make myself. I'm still learning how to do Blender, Unreal 4, Unreal 5, actually. I think that's the newest thing that came out. I'm going to make my first avatar myself. It's going to take me a while. But if I actually can make money off of doing what I like, which is gaming, I will put the money towards entertaining my fans even more. So, I actually have an OBS capture card, just came today, courtesy of my mother, my sister. They actually are supporting me in doing this, even though I am just getting started. But if I get to a point where people are supporting me enough, where technically I don't have to go to work, because I do not people very well. I love people. Actually, I love people that are my friends. I don't love people in general. But if I actually get to a point where this is a full-time thing, the money that I would make, and I'm sure this is a TOS thing with Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, whatever. I don't care. If I am making some money enough to not have to leave my crib, I will look into getting actual live 3D artists, live 2D riggers, people who actually do this shit for a living, making the avatars for other VTubers. And I am very new to the whole VTubing thing. I actually found out about this at the beginning of last month, August. I am just now, or in the past 2 months at this point, it's what, September what, 15, 14, 20 something? Wait, hold on. September 29th. In 3 days, it'll be 2 months since I found out about VTubers. And so, let me go ahead and keep gaming for those that don't want to hear me talk all this shit. But for those that are interested, I've watched a lot of videos where there was questions talking about how do you VTube, how do you stream, and many people said just do it. So right now I am just doing it. I am no good at it, obviously. I am just doing it. If there is anyone that hates me, likes me, whatever, don't care. I am trying to do the best I can. Anyone who has suggestions, please feel free. Message me on my Twitch, YouTube, Twitter. I am trying to entertain people, just like all the other VTubers, YouTubers. It doesn't matter. I'm an old school gamer. I started back with ColecoVision television, and there's a lot of people who don't know what that is. A lot of what they call Zoomers. I have no problem with Zoomers. All I want to say is, if you're a Zoomer, connect with Boomers, find out what the old school shit was. Find out how I am impressed with how far gaming has gone, how far graphics have gone, how far gameplay has gone. Just be cognizant of how much people have progressed, or how far humanity has progressed with the technology. Let me go ahead and talk to this dude.
Just like mine. Where did he find a focus?
But no, yeah. No, you can ask me all the questions, whatever. I'll probably tell all kinds of old man stories because I am.
Where did he find a focus?
I always used to say. Let me pause this for a moment. I always used to say back in the day, back during the 90s, when I graduated high school, that should tell you that I'm very fucking old. I actually have a nickname called Grandpa, and that I would have used that as my call out name on Twitter, YouTube, Twitch. But nowadays, if you want to have a kind of name like that, you got to put all the numbers and hashtags and all the other shit. But no, I have played video games for a long time. There's actually a couple guys I follow on YouTube who do the whole retro gaming thing. I'm not going to put them out there at the moment because I don't know about the whole sponsorship shit and all that other stuff. But I do currently in my crib, I have 15 game consoles. And when I get a chance, I'm going to take pictures of all of them, put them on my Twitter, so that anyone who, because I actually had someone, when I first started, say, "Oh, you play all consoles? Are you just lying?" And I was just like, yeah, no, I play them all. And they doubted everything I said. And there is no reason for me to respond to them. But, and I do say but, I want anyone who follows me to understand that what I do is an actual hobby. I am actually a fan of all the major console companies. I don't play all of them because I can't afford all, like, okay, I have, if we were to say Nintendo, at my mom's crib, I have an NES, I have an SNES. Here where I live, which is halfway across the country, I live in the US, so I'm 2,000 miles away from my mom's. My other shit is in her closet, but here at my crib, I have a GameCube, a Wii, a Wii U, a Switch. I have actually, because my sister, my baby sister, she was very kind enough to send me back. I have the original brick gray Game Boy. I have a Game Boy Color lime green. I have a Nintendo DS, but I do not have a Nintendo 3DS because it was a monetary decision. The only game I wanted for the 3DS was the Ocarina of Time, Legend of Zelda. In case you don't know, my nickname, if you see me on your channel or you see me in person, call me Link. Nintendo probably might demonetize me for saying that, but no. Since 1992, I've had many of my friends. My nickname is Link. I am a Link to all the game consoles. Speaking of that, so yeah, call me Link. I play all kinds of game consoles. In my total collection, my collection here where I live, my collection in my mom's closet, I have Nintendo, Sega, TurboGrafx. Most of the systems that are not niche systems, like I don't have a SNK Neo Geo. I wish I did. I don't have a virtual boy. My homie that I went, when I was in high school, the homie I hung out with, he actually has a Power Glove. I'm jealous of that. I would love to have every system. What was the Panasonic PCR? I don't know what the fuck it was called, but they had the 3 Zelda games on there, and it was told that they were shit games, but I would still love to have them just so I could have it in the collection. But currently, what I have at my crib, if we were to go, okay, I can't go in order because I don't have that kind of memory. But I have a Dreamcast, the sports Dreamcast, because I love Phantasy Star Online. I love the Phantasy Star series. That was one of my biggest favorites on the Sega Genesis, Sega Master Star, Phantasy Star 1, 2, 3, and 4. We can say I stole my Dreamcast from my homie so I can play Phantasy Star Online, the first one, when I still had dial-up internet, which was so long. Like, Zoomers will not understand. Zoomers will not understand what we had to go through to get online back in the day. So, I have a Dreamcast for my Phantasy Star Online 1. I have PS 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I have the original brick Xbox. I have the 360, which I actually had. The current one I have is after 3 Red Rings of Death. And I was so mad about that because I was actually, when I got my 360, I was playing Halo 2 day one, first day when it came out, and I was on like the second to last level when the Red Ring of Death actually happened to me. And I was so pissed. Not because it was the Red Ring of Death, because I had been hearing about it weeks before it happened to me. I was mad because I was so close to ending the game, and then it happened, and then I had to send my 360 into Microsoft. And the 360 I have is actually my third 360 because what they sent me back twice were refurbs that also had the Red Rings of Death, which actually pissed me off because at the time I had chose Microsoft over PlayStation, and don't get me wrong, I have my PS3, my PS4, my PS5. At the time, I was more into Microsoft from the press release. This is how much of a nerd I am. I watch the directs.
You're the only
I
other person
watch
I've ever seen wearing a focus.
all
Where
of
did you
the
get yours?
What? A Nora?
the press releases for the games.
That's impossible. Your tribe fears the old
I
places.
actually tried to be very cognizant
Who says I'm like
of
Nora?
what the systems, the companies are trying to put out, because I am a gamer. I'm semi-retired gamer.
What's wrong?
Apologies.
I have to pause because I have to go into this. I like video games. I love video games. And there are many people who will call me a dweeb, a nerd. I will never ever call myself a weeb. That's the term Zoomers use. And I'm not cool enough to be a weeb. I am too far out of the spectrum or the whatever it is that is considered a weeb, which I have recently looked online. Weeb is a cool term for those in that concept. I'm not sure. Anyway, I am not a weeb. I will consider myself a nerd, maybe a dweeb. I do not people in public very well. Like, I can talk to people, but I don't like people. And so that's why I stay home a lot now. Like, you guys may call me boomer. I may be called an old man. Like, more than likely, more than I'm gonna say 78.8%. Okay, that was a bad joke. Anyway, more than a lot of the people that I watch on stream, Twitch, YouTube, whatever, are at an age where I'm closer to their parents' age than I am their age. So I don't expect any collabs or anyone interviewing me because I am an old guy. But those that know me, that are my friends, I actually have my homie iMac, IP Mac. I'm sorry. Sorry, Mac. If you can follow him, you may not know him, you may not care, but I'm gonna throw the shout out anyway. No, my friends who support what I'm doing at the moment, I want to support them. Anyone who's gonna support me otherwise, I appreciate it. This is something very new to me. I've been told many years to be a YouTuber, VTuber, whatever. This is something new to me. So if you support me, if you want to support me, if you just want to watch me, I appreciate all of it. Anyway, let me stop babbling and get back to actual game playing. Tonight, I actually want to try to do a 5, 6, 7 hour stream because I ain't got shit else to do. So let's get on with this. You got something to say? Luckily, the PS5, the PS4, they put your comments on screen. So if you want to say something, please say something. I'm going to try to respond to anyone that shows up, unless you're what's that Hoss dude, the hate raid bot, whatever. If you're a hate raid bot, I will get on my cell phone or on my computer in the other room and ban you. I do not tolerate any kind of hate, any kind of if you have a problem with what I say or what I believe in, you can say whatever the fuck, but if you go over the line, I'm gonna ban you, and I will continue streaming to 0 followers, 0 fans, 0 viewers. I am not that desperate to allow someone who is a hater for all the bad reasons. I don't care. I can afford to have all the game systems I have, the TV I have, the computer I have, the screens I have. I can afford all of that without anybody supporting me who's a hater. So, with all that said, and granted, I'm talking to a viewer count of 0 at the moment. No, let's not say here. I probably have 2 people. One of them is a sibling One of them is a guy I see at the bar, hang out with, a good friend of mine, Mac. And I told him and her, you don't have to watch my streams if you want to support me. Just follow me, put my shit in the background, let me get the hours viewed. I am not thirsty for likes, subscribes, bits, any of that shit. This is something that I am blending into something I like. I am not a real streamer. I am not a real VTuber. I am learning to use Blender, Unreal 4, all that other shit so that I can pretend to be a streamer. I love video games. I have loved video games for a long time. There are people, VTubers, who are very popular now. I could probably call them my kids because I am as old as their parents. No diss to any of those VTubers, but it is funny to me because one of my old names, and I actually tried to get this on my Twitch and YouTube and Twitter. One of my old names back in the 90s, which a lot of the Zoomers were not born back then, but one of my nicknames was Grandpa. And I can't get that name now because it's been used by many, many people. But I am a grandpa gaming. I have played many, many systems back before, what do Zoomers consider a retro game? Nintendo 64? I got two of them sitting. I can look at them right now. I was playing SNES, NES, Genesis, Sega Master System, Atari 2600, Atari, 76 or 7600? I forget what the other one was after. I played, one of my neighbors had an Intellivision, and another one had a ColecoVision. Y'all kids these days don't know about those. And there's no diss to those that don't. But I am that old school playing those systems. And there are many of my friends, because I'm an old dude. I'm a grandpa. So a lot of my grandpa friends remember those systems. Once I get a capture card and get OBS set up, I have a total of 15 systems in my crib at the moment. All the older ones are at my mom's crib halfway across the country. But here, and if you're watching this on YouTube, or if you actually stumbled onto my Twitch as a rookie fan or whatever, I have 15 systems. I have a Dreamcast, a PS1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have an Xbox 360, Xbox One X, excuse me, Xbox Series X. I have a Nintendo Wii, a Wii U, a GameCube, a Switch. What the fuck else do I have? No, yeah, that's what okay. I have a Game Boy. My like 2 years ago, my sister was actually kind enough to send me the original the brick gray Game Boy, which I had in my mom's crib. I have a Game Boy Color. I have a Game Boy Advance. I have a Game Boy DS. I don't have a 3DS because I don't have money for that. But if I was to get a 3DS, there's only one game I would get at this point, and that would be Legend of Zelda 3D, Ocarina of Time, the 3DS version. I have like every version or every system version of the original Zelda because that was one of my favorite games back in the day. I am so sorry that I've been babbling. I went to the bar last night, had me some drinks, woke up this morning, cure the hangover, have a few more drinks. Who gives a fuck, right? But let me go ahead and continue this game.
Malfunction.
Olin?
If anyone has any questions, if you want to ask me anything,
I'll come back.
I am my own mod.
We'll talk later.
I am...
Whoa. Oh, I guess he's more hungover than I thought.
Yeah, hungover. Yeah,
You got
same
the
here.
same trinket that Olin has on his head.
Anyone that wants to ask me anything, please ask.
Fashionable.
His
The worst
name's-
I will do is say I'm not going to
Who
answer
is
that
he?
question.
And where did he get one of these?
He's just
I
a
have no
scrounger
problem
with friends in high
talking with
places.
people.
Now, he spends half his time digging for artifacts, the other half drinking or dicing.
I only have a problem talking to
As for
myself,
the trinket, I guess
which
he
is
dug it up somewhere.
funny for
Just a
someone that
weird old jewel
would be
he sticks on
considered
his
crazy.
face. I mean, no offense. It looks great on you.
I've never seen armor like yours before.
You've never seen Vanguard steel? Now let me introduce you. Ring
Let me
locked,
introduce you.
Impact protected, sturdy enough to choke a sawtooth. It has to be. The Vanguard of the Sun King's best. Life takers and machine breakers to a one.
To a one.
And give a Nora warmaid like you more trouble than she can handle.
With all that metal to slow you down? I doubt it.
Yeah, hard to say. From where I'm standing, looks like a pretty even match.
I have to say,
I thought your friend was gonna go down in a hail of fruit, but you really calm
and
down.
I will get into this
Thanks.
at another date.
I wasn't sure I could do it.
The way
Nora is still pissed with the Karja about the red
and
raids.
and
Who
and,
can
and
blame
I
her?
understand true gamers will argue with me about how graphics have made the generations. And I felt the same way, but if you look at how the way graphics in video games, console systems, computer systems, if you look at how the way they have advanced the gameplay, there are many, many ways that graphics, just advancing graphics, has advanced gameplay so much that gameplay has become so advanced people do or younger folks, Zoomers, I guess you would say. I don't want to point y'all out, but there are people who have
What else do you know?
do
about
not
him?
Is
understand
he really that interesting? I'm
how
starting to get
far
jealous.
gaming
Well, he
has
scours the
come.
wilds for ruins, digs up stuff, and
For
sells it to nobles.
People
He's not
nowadays to
scrounging,
enjoy.
He's scouting. Exactly the skills you want the man guiding your expedition to have.
Like,
I've known him for a few years.
there might be a few
He's a
people who
loyal
have played
companion,
the
cares for his
NES,
family, holds his drink well
the
enough. I like him,
SMS,
but besides that, not much to
SMS,
tell.
SMS, Sega Master System. Yeah. Anyway, there are many people who do not realize how far gaming has come. Like, there have been people who have criticized my handle. I play all consoles. So people who do PC gaming and it's been very few because I'm very new at this on streaming online, but even if we go offline, there have been people who criticize me because they're like, oh, PC gaming's the way to go. I do not fault that. I do not hate on PC gaming. In fact, if I told you this, you'd totally think I was a PC gamer. But I can count the number of PC games or personal computer games. We're not going to say PC because it was more than just IBM PCs. But the number of PC games that I have played, you can count on one hand. And the reason for that is because there were not very many gamer-friendly PC games back when I found PC gaming. I'm back from the day, like everyone knows about Doom. Everyone knows about the new Doom for the newest systems, but how many people, and I'm not going to see this on my current stream, but if anyone is watching the VOD at a later time, which will probably be none, but how many people watching me talk right now remember playing the shareware version of Doom on a 1.44 floppy disk, a shareware version? Or we can go back before that, Wolfenstein 3D. Who remembers that game? And there'll probably be a few people because Wolfenstein actually made a reboot recently in the past 10 years. But I'm gonna even go more old school than that. Before Doom, before Wolfenstein, I want y'all to Google, what the fuck is the name of that? Oh shit. I am having a blank right now. Let me look this shit up. There was a game. It was a 3D game before Wolfenstein, before Doom, Catacombs 3D. I'm sorry, I just now remember that. If you are an old school, old grandpa gamer,
I wanted to ask you something else.
If you want.
You remember
Also
Catacombs
be around after
3D.
that blessing thing, if that'd be a better time to talk.
I never heard anything about
That
red
was
rings growing up. What were
something.
Your
When I
tribe
was in
at
high school,
war
or
and you
actually,
wouldn't even
Catacombs
know.
3D
Were
when
you
I was
kept hidden
in
away
junior
to your
high.
overprotective parents or something?
I grew
And
up
we
as an
had
outcast,
computer
shunned by
labs
the tribe.
that had
Oh.
Apple
Yeah,
IIes.
I heard the Nord.
We didn't even
That
have
seems cruel.
Microsoft PCs
But
with the
even an outcast
Motorola
knows about the
processor as
derangement
the
of machines, right?
CPU.
How they get
Apple was the
deadlier every
shit
year.
when I was in school
The
back
mad
in
Sun King figured if he spilled enough blood to the
elementary
sun,
school, junior high.
didn't work.
PCs became something when I was in
For
high
years,
school.
He raided the tribes and took captives for
But-
sacrifice. My sister among them.
Back when I was in elementary
The
school,
Nora put
when
up a good fight, but
apples
lives were
or
lost.
computers in general were something new. We were doing the whole turtle basic programming, which made me hate programming. I would have been a programmer if it had not been for playing with Turtle. But we had Turtle on the Apple IIe. We had Oregon Trail. We had... Does anyone remember the Commodore 64 or the Commodore Amiga? Most of the kids these days have no clue what that is. But, and this is this is why I love video games. I love progression because in that era, like on the Xbox 360, I have Prince of Persia: Sands of Time. But if you go back in time, there was regular Prince of Persia for the PC games. And before that, there was, and I apologize if I get the name wrong, there was Karateka or Karateka. I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but it had similar gameplay mechanics, except Prince of Persia was more exploring. Karateka, it was more of a fight sim. But it was revolutionary back when I was a kid, back when I first saw it. And you know, I was watching YouTube the other day talking about IPs that need to come back. Karateka needs to come back. I would have said Prince of Persia, but at the time I was thinking Prince of Persia should have came back. It did come back. And I got it for my brick Xbox. I got it for the 360. I will probably stand Prince of Persia for a lifetime because it was very, very, very fun back in the day. Unless it goes the route of the game Driver. Anyone remember the game Driver for the PS1? Driver 1, Driver 2, those were fun games. I fucked up and I got Driver 3 for the Xbox, the original Xbox, and it sucked.
If the Karja have such a cruel history,
And
how did you end up serving them?
there were
Last
other
king
Driver
has
games
been
that came out.
butchers.
I just,
But the new king
if
was
a game
plus.
sucks
There's nothing
once
cruel about that.
and its progression,
Besides, the Karja don't
I
just
have a
fight,
problem
they build.
playing them afterwards.
Take Meridian. Next to it, everything else is just a bunch of sticks and stones.
My
Just
handle
how big
says
is
play
mine?
all consoles.
What's it like?
Where do I even start?
And I play, like I
My
said, I
tribesmen
have
are
15
masters
consoles
of the forge, the
here
best
in my
tinkers
crib.
the world.
I have a
But when
PC in
it
my
comes to
bedroom.
building,
I have
the
many
Karja had
consoles
us
at my
beat.
mom's crib
The
halfway across
city
the country.
soars over a canyon with more bridges than the
I would
Nora had
play
roads and buildings tall as
Almost
mountains.
all the games
And across the valley stands the
that are
spire,
in my collection.
like a blade thrust into
But
the
there
sky,
are
reflecting the
a
sun.
few games
You
that I
really owe it
won't.
yourself to see it. So consider that a
And
challenge.
up until about
Or an
15 years
invitation.
ago, I had a very serious mental condition where I had to 100% all my games. But I think Driver 3 for the Xbox, the original Xbox, with the Duke controller, that I think was the first game that I did not finish. And I actually quit probably 1/10 through the game. There was some driving portion and it was so horrible. And I had to just no. I had to stop. And after that, even though I play a lot of bad games, if it is that bad, I am not going to finish it. Which has affected the way I buy games. Or I get games gifted to me. Because I have my sibling, I have my mom. They actually game. And I can't say it's because of me. Because my mom was gaming back at the Atari 2600 age. So, if anything, I started gaming because of her, not she started gaming because of me. Her and my pops, they would play Pac-Man, and their turns would be 3 to 4 hours long. You have no clue what it is to watch your parents game 3 to 4 hours a turn. I grew up in the the Nintendo age, playing Super Mario Brothers, people would swap turns every 5 or 6 minutes. My mom and pops would have 3 to 4 hour turns at Pac-Man. And if you played a 2600 or Atari 2600, you know that you can set the difficulty to how fast the ghosts run, how fast they turn back from being ghosts that you can eat to ghosts that kill you. They would play the hardest difficulty and would whoop that ass. 4 to 5 hours a turn.
Just how big is Meridian? What's it like?
Where do I even start?
Had
My
no
tribesmen
choice but to
are
be a gamer
masters
at that
of the
time.
forge, the best tinkers
If
in the
you
world.
watch your
But when it
parents
comes to building,
back
cards
then,
have us beat.
game like
The
that,
city soars over a canyon.
like
more
Zoomers
bridges than
these
Nora
days,
have roads and
they get
buildings
into
tall
games
as
because of their
mountains.
friends.
And across the valley
And I
stands
don't
the
blame
spire,
that because
like a
when
blade
Nintendo
thrust
came
into
out,
sky
the
reflecting the
NES,
sun.
I got it because my friends got
You
it.
really owe it yourself to see it.
And I actually got
So
a
consider that a
Sega
challenge.
Genesis before I got a Super
Or an
Nintendo.
invitation.
But my friends back in elementary school had a NES before I did, and I joined in because they were playing it. But the Atari 2600, the Intellivision, the ColecoVision, Zoomers will not know what I'm talking about unless they Google it. Those were the original game systems that us boomers played when we weren't going to the arcade, which is a totally different thing now than it was back then. But watching your parent, if you have a parent who games as hard as you do, or as close to as hard as you do, I want you, if you're watching my stream right now, give props to your gaming parent. My mom actually has a PlayStation account, Big Mommy, I believe. I have to look it up. That's not the exact title, but she has a PS4, PS5. She has a PlayStation account, Big Mom. She games. Okay, you won't find her playing Halo or anything that is a fast twitch controller game. But she the last time I talked to her a few months ago, she was playing Final Fantasy X. Natasha Nyanners. I don't want to drop names because she's not one of my followers. I follow her. But Nyanners just recently played FF10. She is younger than I am. And she was going through the game. My mom, who is 20 years older than me, went through that game like 4 years ago. Think about this. If you have a parent, hold on, let me go and
You said the
keep
machines
playing the
have
game
been
I'm
getting
playing
more
right now.
dangerous
But
every
if
year.
you have a parent
I don't
who
have
is
to
playing
tell
a
you
game
that,
that you
First
played when you were a
Oh,
kid,
sorry. I just assumed
20
everyone knew.
plus,
Well, the way
for
I
me it was
hear it,
almost
15,
30 years ago,
20
but
years
20
ago,
plus years ago.
machines weren't always
If you have a
pissed off
parent
like they are now.
that plays a game you
When a
played
hunter
back when you
came
were a
at them,
kid,
they'd spook and run. So it was hard.
think
to
about
take
how
them
you
down,
feel
not
about that.
Dangerous, so long as you were smart enough to jump out of the way. But then
For
the
me,
derangement starts up.
who's an old guy,
Changes. Now, when a hunter fires
where
a shot,
parents
machines
didn't play
snarl,
video games.
charge right at it.
Like nowadays, I guess many
A few
people
more years pass and they
who are
start
older
attacking
play video
people in
games.
sight.
But back
Going
in
anywhere
my
becomes a
day,
major risk.
parents didn't play video games.
If that wasn't bad enough,
They bought video games
entirely
for the
new
kids
kinds of
because the
machines
kids
started
whined
showing
about
up.
it.
Bigger,
But they didn't play the
meaner,
video games.
and heavily armed.
I have
Like
family.
Sawtooth.
Yeah, 10 years
My
ago.
sister,
they weren't.
who was
But every couple
2 or
of years
6
or
months,
so,
one day
something
younger than me,
worse comes along.
she's a
Believe
gamer.
me,
And you would
So
expect
what's
that.
making it
But
happen?
my mom,
And no one
who is
knows.
20
And the
years
machines,
older than me,
they aren't telling.
plays video games. And she doesn't play it as, it's not a lukewarm hobby. Like, she plays the Final Fantasy series. She plays, she made me buy Animal Crossing. I don't play Animal Crossing. Let me tell you this Animal Crossing story. To the folks, I just saw, I have 3 viewers, and they're probably not even watching it. They just probably logged in because they're friends who are just trying to give me views. Anyway, my mom, when I got my Nintendo Switch, she told me I had to play Animal Crossing so she can get a certain type of fruit. I forget what it was, but I told her, Mother, I love you, but I don't play Animal Crossing. That is not going to be a game I buy. And my mom said that she would buy it for me and that I had to play it until I got this fruit that she wanted and then hook up with her on the Nintendo Switch Online, whatever the online system that Nintendo has. She told me that I had to get this fruit for her. And then she bought the family pack Switch Online combo, whatever it was, which basically is like Netflix, where you get the family account, and then you can add everyone in your family to that account. So I have that on my Nintendo Switch. So she bought it on Amazon. She bought Animal Crossing for me, sent it to my crib, and I had to spend, I think it was like 9 hours playing Animal Crossing, which is not my kind of game. No diss to Animal Crossing players, but she made me play this game until I got what she wanted. And then once I got it, I text her on my cell phone, Mom, I got this. What do I do next? And my mom, not my sister, who is in the same generation as me, but my mom, who is a legitimate boomer, walked me through the steps to get her to come to my Animal Crossing island so she can get this fruit that she wanted for her own game. And then I didn't have to play Animal Crossing. Most games are $60 games. $60 is a lot for a game. I remember when there was Nintendo games that were like $35. $35 was expensive for NES games. Nowadays, you spend $60 to $70 for a brand new PS4, PS5, Xbox One X, Xbox Series X. Any of those games, they're $60 to $70. $35 was expensive. My mom bought me a copy of Animal Crossing just to play it enough to get her this fruit or fruit tree or something like that. Like, really? How hardcore do you need to be to get console exclusive stuff? When I was in my early 30s, I was getting the Halo expansion packs, the map packs or whatever. But I was a guy in my 30s. I was doing that because I was a gamer. My mother, 20 years older than I am, bought me a game to work up to get her a fucking single fruit for her game. And I told her I wasn't going to play the game after I got her this fruit. She's like, I don't care. She did not care that I would not play this game ever again. I saw the newest Nintendo Direct. I saw the past few Nintendo Directs. There's new stuff for Animal Crossing. I'm not gonna play it. I am not gonna play it unless my mother requires me to hook her up with another item. I'm not gonna diss I will play the shittiest game for my mom if it helps her out, because my mom is a gamer. I have a mom who is a couple decades older than I am. I'm not gonna put her name out there because she gets mad about me calling her elderly. She gets mad about that. I am in my 40s. My mom is over 20, or she's 20 years older than I am. She does not like to be called old or elderly. But my mom still games. If my mom says Sonny, she calls me Sonny. If my mom were to ask me to play a game that would help her out, regardless if I hate that genre or I hate that game, it does not matter. If my mom wants me to play a game that helps her out, I, as a good son, have to play it. At least up until the point that it helps her out. I played, I think, about 6 or 7 hours of Animal Crossing until I got what she wanted. And this is the reason I have a Nintendo Switch account, because once I got this fruit that she wanted, she made my sister, her daughter, set up the Nintendo family account. I didn't have it until then. They didn't have it until then. But once I got this account, I said, Moms, how do I get this fruit to you? And she said, hold on a moment. And then my sister texts me on my phone. I'm sitting here on my Switch. I'm playing the Switch. I'm trying to get this fruit. I got this fruit from my mom. I sent a text to my mom saying, how do I get this to you? My sister texts me after that on her cell phone. She's like, check out this email that I sent you. You now are part of the Nintendo family account. And the Xbox Live when it first came out for the brick Xbox. And I stopped doing it because there were a lot of kids back then. They're now Zoomers now, which are probably the only people who are watching this video if they watch it. But I got the Xbox Live back when they had the headphone mic set up. If I have it still, I'm going to put that picture on my Twitch. Or not Twitch, Twitter. I'm sorry. I am so new. I am a boomer. I get Twitch and Twitter confused. I'm sorry. But if I still have the original box, I'm going to put that picture up on my Twitter. That's how long ago I was doing online gaming. And because I was doing online gaming that far ago, I stopped online gaming because a lot of you Zoomers back in the day, and I hate to say you Zoomers, but it was you Zoomers. Y'all were so annoying back in like 2003, 2004, 2005. Y'all talked about banging my mom so much, banging me in the butthole. Y'all talked about everything and anything. And it was hard to, like, back in that day when Xbox Live went live, technically, there were people who were setting up clans for like Halo and all that shit. And I love that. But if you didn't play at the same time as your friends who were setting up clans, you were stuck playing with kids who were, the newest thing at that time was teabagging people. I have nothing against that, and I'm assuming that that still goes on. But if you were on a team, like I think Halo 2 had 4 versus 4 or some shit, if three of your teammates after you died came back and teabagged you, that wasn't cool. I would understand the opponents coming to teabag me, but if your own teammates came to teabag you, they weren't playing to be a team. They were just playing to talk shit. I have nothing against talking shit. I talk shit more than a little bit. My mom talks more shit than I do. But if you're trying to... Let me get back to this game here.
Tell me about the derangement again.
If you are
The way I
trying
hear
to
it,
form a
15,
clan
20 years ago, the machines weren't always pissed off like they are now.
with people that
When
you're
a
friends
hunter
with,
came at them, they'd spook and run.
IRL or online,
So it was hard to take them down, but not
you
dangerous.
don't go and
So long as
teabag
you were
them.
smart enough to jump out of the way.
Just that,
But then
I
the
mean,
derangement starts
unless you guys are real good friends, if you're
Now,
a brand
when a
new
hunter fires a
friend,
shot, the machines snarl
you shouldn't
and charge right at
teabag
it.
a brand new teammate if you want
Few
them to
more
stay
years
around to be
pass
on
when
your
they
team.
start attacking people on sight.
That's my thought back in
Anywhere becomes a
2004
major
or
risk.
5.
If that
I don't know
wasn't
what
bad
kids
enough,
do these days because I
entirely
don't
new kinds of
online
machines
game
start showing up.
that much anymore.
Bigger,
I don't people very
meaner,
well.
and heavily armed.
Like the sawtooth.
Yeah, 10 years
I
ago, that
can
one.
get along with
But
people,
every couple of years or so, something worse.
but I don't
goes on.
friend
Believe me,
people in
So
public that
what's
much.
making it happen?
and no one knows.
And that
And
was one of the
machines,
things that
they
drew
are
me to streaming. Now, I can now stream without showing my face, without being personable. I just have to get along with someone who thinks in a way that I can get along with. They don't have to think the same way I do. There are people who are very, what's the term? Say so. There are people who are very lewd. There are people who are gamers. There are people who are just travelers. Like there's a guy that does the series Abroad in Japan. I'm a fan of anime, Japanese animation, whatever you want to call it. If I could, I would go and I wouldn't move there, but I would go and visit Japan because there are a lot of things in Japan that influenced me as a kid. And I would want to hang out with this guy that does Abroad in Japan. Him and I think his name is Yuki. There's another guy who does the dark side of Japan. Japanese YouTuber. I would want to hang out with both of these guys because they are interesting and they hang out in a country that I find interesting. But would I want to move to Japan? No. I don't speak the language. I don't. Oh, hold on. I'm looking at my cell phone right now. My sister just commented. Oh, hold on. I'm looking at my cell phone right now. My sister just commented. Anyway, no, I would love to visit Japan. Just like I would love to visit a whole lot of continents in the world. But I would not want to move there because I live in the USA, America. There are people here in the States that don't get my sense of humor. And they understand the language perfectly. Imagine going somewhere where the puns, the language is not the same. Even if people learned English as a second language, they do not understand all the puns, all the funnies, all of the inaccurate ways we abuse our language to make jokes. So if I went to another country, I would be so outcast. Because even just speaking normally if someone understood English in another country, France, Germany, Japan, China, whatever country it was, if they spoke English, they would understand the most basic of English.
Your sister was taken captive and sacrificed.
But if you were to make a joke,
Captive, yes.
most English
Sacrificed,
people,
no.
English-speaking
Takes
people
more
do
than a few
not
cards to finish
understand
her, sir.
that
She got
if you
away.
make a joke
Now
in
she's my
English
captain.
and
Captain
someone
of the
from another
entire
country
vanguard.
speaks English,
Favored
they're
by
not
the
going to
Sun
get the
King
joke.
himself.
How did she survive?
Oh, that's a story.
If
all right,
you
but it
make a
takes while
joke
to
that
tell.
use any kind of
Maybe
slang,
another time over a drink or three. Or just come
even
to
if it
Meridian
isn't
and
slang,
meet
if you make a
yourself.
joke,
I think you'd like
they're
each
not
other.
going to get the
Both
context.
rather,
You're going to stand there
direct.
looking stupid, smiling, while they're looking at you like, the fuck you just say? This is why I want to learn other languages, or at least Japanese. I've been a anime fan since I was a kid. I was a fan before I knew what being a fan was. Like, I was watching one of the stepping stones I tripped over to fall into the whole YouTuber, VTuber thing, Lost Paws and Nuxtaku. And please do not think I'm dropping their names because I want to be clout chasing. They don't know me. I know them from YouTube and Twitch. They don't know me. I'm not trying to get them on. Anyway, I was watching their shit. And some of the shit they asked was, and this has been with a lot of VTubers as well. What was your first anime? What was your first hentai? Samuel Jackson. I like anime and hentai too. Anyway, I go way before the Zoomers of the day. If you were to ask me, what was my first anime? Let me answer another question on this game.
So what happened? How did it all
If
end?
you ask me what
Mad
is my
King's own son
first anime,
united Karja rebels with Asuran
I have to give the
freedoms. Together
American
we did the
response
impossible.
because
Took back Meridian and killed the
back when
crazy
I
old
watched
king.
anime, there
So
was
now the
Japanese
sun
and
sits on the
American
throne,
anime.
and it's a big improvement. Under a
Japanese
God, there's no more sacrifices,
made the
no more
anime,
suffering.
America adopted it and
People
changed
from
it
all
and
tribes
ruined
are
it.
welcome in Meridian now, even Nora exiles. You really should
Battle
come
of the Planets. If you don't know that, Google it. I watched the remake of the newer, back in the 90s. There was Cartoon Network. There was a lot of you Zoomers remember Toonami on Cartoon Network. Before Toonami appeared, there was the Midnight Run, and they replayed the I'm not going to say unedited, but the not as censored version of Battle of the Planets, which was called G-Force. The actual anime from the set, like Toonami started in like 95, 96, some shit like that. The actual anime that they reran was from the early 70s before I was born, and I watched the American version after I was born in like 78, 79, some shit like that. Yeah, that's dating my old ass, but that's how far back I go with anime. So, anyone who wants to hit me with that boomer tag and say I don't know, I know. I know. Okay, I went with Battle of the Planets. Transor Z, which was Manzagor Z in Japan. That was I remember American anime names that were changed for us Americans to get into it. Okay, I remember when Transformers was a Saturday or Sunday morning cartoon. Okay, I remember watching the Transformers movie in, what was it, 84? Where Rodimus Prime replaced Optimus Prime. Where Megatron, and pardon this, but it was, I still function. Okay. Y'all Zoomers don't know about that unless you look it up on YouTube. I saw that shit live. If you know about it, you understand. Let me get back to playing this game. Damn it.
Who are the Oseram?
Oh,
But no,
nice,
yeah,
right?
no.
Far to the
If I
northwest.
could have
We're
had
good at three things: arguing,
picked the
working
name
steel,
for my
and brewing.
account, it would have been Grandpa Gamer.
What are those?
I guess
I
you
was
could
called
say
Grandpa
we
back
were
when I was still in
mercenaries,
high school because I
warriors
was
for pay.
older than most of the
Except a lot more loyal, and that
misfits
makes
that
us
were
guarded.
gamers, the new YouTube gamers nowadays. Because I appreciate, I'm playing Horizon. This game looks gorgeous. I'm okay right now as I am speaking. I'm looking at Aloy's facial features, her eyebrows, her hair that has the little loop up in the front. I remember back with like Super Mario Brothers. I remember back before Super Mario. I remember Mario Brothers. There was no background. It was a black background. There was a foreground, and that was the only light. Like this is how much of a geek I was. I used to watch
I want to ask you about something.
games
Ask away.
just for the graphical advancements. Like Super Mario Brothers had a blue background that symbolized a daytime sky. And to symbolize night, they had a black background. But to symbolize being underworld, but they changed the red looking bricks to blue. So it looked like you were underground in the dark. If you want to go even deeper than that, there was a game called Legend of Cage or Legend of Kagi. It was for the original NES. This was like one of the first generations that didn't have multi-background settings. But there was a game that came after that, and I don't even know if it was the same developer, but Demon Sword for the NES. They had similar gameplay. They were not the same graphically, but they had the same gameplay. They had the same mechanics. Just Demon Sword had two different backgrounds where you had like the sky and the sun sitting there that was stationary. Then the second background, you had the like mountains that would move slightly slower to the foreground. And then you had the foreground where you did your actual fighting. And I'm sure you can find the game on YouTube. But if you look at the two, you may not think they're the same game, but if you played them, they were the same fucking game. You didn't have a jump button. You pressed up on the control pad and you jumped through the sky and you jumped very high. You had like a ninja star in Legend of Kage, Legend of Cage, Legend of Kage. You had a ninja star and then you had a very close range like sword or whatever they want to call it. I'm not sure if it wasn't a katana. It was like Wakanda. I don't know what the name. I'm not very versed in Japanese swords, but you had a very close range weapon. If you played that and then you played Demon Sword, it was the same fucking mechanic. You had a projectile. It was not a ninja star, but you had a projectile. 8 directions, just like Legend of Kage. And then you had the sword, which was the Demon Sword, which you upgraded and actually became bigger as you played, but it was a close ranged weapon. And the way you jumped or ran through the stages, that was the biggest thing between those two games. The way you jumped through. A lot of the early NES games, like the difference between NES and Atari. Atari had a one screen up and down block, one by one. The early NES games, Grandpa's about to go old school on y'all. I'm sorry, I'm probably lose any later viewers that I might have later, but Grandpa's about to do this. Nintendo NES Super Mario Brothers. Like, the difference between it and regular Mario Brothers. Mario Brothers, you had one screen, you had the PAL block in the middle. You run off one side, you come in the other side. It was one screen. Super Mario Brothers. It was one screen high, and if you went on a vine, it would load another set of screens, but it was left to right, 10 to 20 screens. You go up a vine, it would cut, you get a black screen for a second, and you get the next screen, which was where you were at, but it was 10 to 20 screens left to right. Nothing like today's games. Okay, Legend of Zelda, which is, okay, my handle is play all consoles. That's because I cannot get the Link handle because everyone has that. But most of my friends from back in the 90s, my nickname is Link. If you want to call me out, say Link, I'll answer. Nintendo might want to sue me for that. I don't give a fuck. Anyway, Legend of Zelda was a pseudo 3D game. It was 2D, but it had the 3D elements. But the graphics at the time, and this is one of the things I want to say to many people, especially many people, I mean old school gamers.
Tell me about Olin again.
When he's not scrounging, he's scouting.
Graphics
exactly the skills
do make progress for video games.
I've known him for a few years.
This was a thing back in the early 2000s.
His family holds his drink well enough. I like him, but
early 2000s, people said graphics should not make the game. I would agree with that, except they do make games. Anyone that's ever played, I think it was called Mud games, back on PC. There was no graphics. It was all text-based. And people would play those. And as adventurous as it was, once you got RPGs, D&D went from Mud to RPGs in a heartbeat. And I'm still glad people play RPGs now. They play D&D now, regardless of whatever controversy is happening today. I would still play D&D if I had a group of people that would play it with me. D&D was, I don't care what people say, they were very integral to the way RPGs and games play today. Final Fantasy, Phantasy Star, I don't care, Dragon Quest, I don't care what RPG you play today. It is all thanks to Dungeons and Dragons Dungeons and Dragons.
I've never seen armor like yours before.
Dungeons and Dragons
You've never seen
paved the way
Vanguard steel?
for RPGs.
Let me introduce you.
All of
Ring-locked,
them.
Impact
It
protected,
does not
sturdy
matter.
enough to choke a sawtooth.
The
It has to
RNG
be.
meme
Vanguard
that,
of Sun
that goes
King's
around
best,
online
life takers and
is
machine
due to
breakers
the
too.
D4, D10, all those dice.
Or a war made like you more trouble. than
All of those are thanks to
With all
D&D.
that metal to slow you down? I doubt it.
Yeah, hard to say.
All of that
From where I'm standing,
for the
looks like a pretty even
RPGs
match.
that rely on RNG is thanks to Dungeons and Dragons. And I played that as a kid. There was a couple people I knew. I didn't play it extensively. I was invited like, hey, I do D&D. You want to try it? Okay, I'll try it. Back in elementary and junior high, there was actually a friend of mine back in junior high. We're not friends anymore because I don't know them anymore. But one of my friends in junior high invited me to their house. And I went across town because I lived out of the district. But I went to their crib, and as a teenage or a young teenager, he ran the D&D game with me and like 4 other people. And he was copying his dad. His dad was actually a dungeon master. But because he could get friends of his age, he was the dungeon master, and it wasn't all that great. If I look back at it now, looking at dungeon masters now, he wasn't all that great. But this is back in like 91? No. This was 89, I think. 89. This is dating myself. This is why I can say grandpa. Anyway, 89, this kid was being a DM. And I found it very fun to roleplay. This fell in line with my love of video games where you roleplay as a character. Let me continue with this
I
game
should
here.
make my way to the blessing.
Yeah.
But
Look,
it
maybe
was
I shouldn't
a
say
thing
this, but
back then.
it's obvious that you don't
Boomers,
belong in
as you
this
Zoomers would
backwater.
say.
I mean, you're smart.
But
You're
it was
obviously capable,
fun
and
because you got to pretend and use your imagination.
you know what? All right, if you ever visit Meridian,
And this was
let
back
me know.
before
I'll
you
show
had
around,
immersive.
make
Like I'm playing
introductions.
Horizon
Maybe a
right
whole
now.
new life, if you want it.
Horizon,
Anyway, I have to go to that blessing.
as much as it has action, it is an RPG game,
Around, maybe.
in my opinion.
They all mother forget them and all their work.
Horizon is an RPG game. I played last week. I finished up Scarlet Nexus. Scarlet Nexus action a whole bunch of the time. It's an RPG game. I don't care what you say. Final Fantasy VII Remake, which might be my next playthrough. I got like 5 PS4 games. I'm gonna play on my PS5 because I like the 4K. I'm sorry, but I might play Final Fantasy VII Remake, New Game Plus. Like I did Final Fantasy 15 New Game Plus for a couple of days because my internet wouldn't allow me to play PS5 online. But my PS5, my Xbox Series X, I'm playing all the previous gen games on them just for the 4K. Anyone that hates on me for that, I don't care. Let me light my smoke here. But let me say this now. I put as my tag because I can't put my original tag from when I was online decades ago. Everyone's taken those. My online tag, play all consoles. Twitch, YouTube, Twitter. That's my tag online. I just today got a capture card device. So I went from 4 systems that I can stream online naturally from those systems to 15. I am going to be, once I get used to OBS, once I get used to using the capture card, once I'm learning how to use Blender so I can make my own avatar, so I can be an actual VTuber instead of a streamer. I like the term. I like the concept of VTubers. I always told people that, like, years ago, people wanted me to be a YouTuber. They're like, you should be on YouTube. We should do a channel together. I'm like, I want to be rich, not famous. I don't want people to see my ugly face. I don't want to be recognized when I go into a fucking grocery store. VTubing is a godsend. I am so glad that that has happened, and I am, okay, I'm gonna say I'm a stan, not a simp, but I'm a stan for many of the VTubers. Granted, most of them are women, but there's a few guys that introduced me to VTubing. And I want to be someone that is seen online, but is not known. I want to be able to go to the grocery store and no one knows that I'm this guy that plays video games. This old geezer who is trying to hang out with Zoomers. I want to enjoy playing games and enjoy people watching me play games. I want to, and my mom actually denied it like a year ago, but my mom told me when I was a kid, you're not going to get paid for playing games. Anyone who grew up in the 90s, their parents told them the same thing. Video games are not going to make you any money. If you grew up in the 90s, right now you are looking at your parents and like, the fuck you just say back then? And my mom was, it was like 5 or 6 months ago. She's like, I never told you that. Bullshit. Bullshit. My mom told me when I was in high school, you are not going to make money playing video games. No one's going to pay you to watch you play video games. And beginning in August, I started streaming because out of all the people, my baby sister, my younger sibling, told me, and she didn't argue with me, she's been telling me this for years, but she actually convinced me, she's like, people watch other people play video games online. I'm like, what the fuck? Why would you want to watch someone play a video game you could play yourself? That was my thinking. Why would you want to watch someone play? Okay, you might want to watch them to see if the game is something you would like. You might spend half an hour watching someone play a game to see if you like playing that game, so you might buy it. Back in the day, I did not think someone would watch a 6 or 7 hour stream of someone playing a game from start to finish. I didn't think people would want to watch someone play a game so they didn't have to buy it. They could just watch the game, get all the memes or whatever, and move on to the next game without having to buy it. That did not make any sense to me. That's how much of a boomer I am. For me, as a boomer, like now you can stream your game, record it, put it on YouTube, and have it recorded forever. For me and my friends back in the day, back when I was in high school, back in the 90s, I actually have a VHS VCR tape. It was two of them, but one of them got erased, or not erased, it got eaten up. My VCR actually died and needs tapes now, but I actually recorded Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, 3-Heart Challenge. This is this is back in the day when challenges were actually real. Like now you can do challenges and you get like achievements for them because they're planned in the game. Back then, back with the N64 or the Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, Sega Master System, NES, there were challenges that you only heard about in magazines because there was no internet. There in Nintendo Power was a challenge, and I actually did it before it came out in Nintendo Power, but there was a challenge, 3-Heart Run, where you went through the Legend of Zelda without getting any heart container pieces. And that actually still exists to this day in Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild, Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword, any of the Zeldas. There is a 3-Heart Challenge imprinted on everybody that plays the game, that has been playing the game forever. If you play Legend of Zelda, I'm trying to get back into this game. But if you play Legend of Zelda, everyone always says last year's festival was better. You know about the 3-Heart Challenge. Let me go up these damn stairs. Ah, it so sucks. Oh, okay, I can't go there. But, anyway, I gotta pause again because talking and playing, I don't do too well. In the future, if I get actual viewers, more than the 2 or 3 people who are watching me now, I have to apologize because if I play a game, I'm gonna have trouble interacting with viewers. But at the moment, I don't care. I got 2 viewers, both of which don't even view my shit. They join just to give me viewer count. They might even put my shit on the background so I get viewer hours. Mac, Ashen, thank you very much for subscribing. There's also that Haas dude that's the hate raid, whatever. I don't give a fuck about you. Anyway, there are old school gamers who appreciate the advancements of gaming like I do. Like, with the Atari 2600, you had a black background, period. When you had the NES with Super Mario Brothers, you had a blue sky when you were during the daylight. You had a black background when you were at night. You had a black background with blue blocks if you were underground. And you had a richer blue background if you were underwater. I mentioned earlier Legend of Kage, Legend of Cage, whatever you want to call it. It had a black background. And I don't even know if it's the same developer. Then there was Demon Sword, which had the same gameplay mechanics. But they had like 2 backgrounds. They had the sun in the sky, which sat still. Then you had the second background, which was mountains that moved at a fraction of the speed that you moved in the foreground. So you had an immersive environment back in the 80s. So when like the N64 came out, and at the same time the PS1 came out, and there are many people who will hate on me for me saying this, but the PS1 had a 2D play screen with a painted background. Like Final Fantasy VII, one of the best games for the PS1, was not a 3D game. I have it, and I have Tomb Raider for the PS1. Tomb Raider was a 3D game. They had the 3D polygon environment. For Final Fantasy VII, you had polygon characters. You had if you look under the map or look under the screen, there was a 2D path you could walk on, and then they put a painted picture over the top of that so it looked like you were walking in a 3D environment. Same with Resident Evil. Resident Evil, you had a 3D character, 3D enemies, and a 2D background, and a 2D map that you would walk the set path. With the N64, most of the games had a full 360 map. Playing Mario 64. I've heard some people say that you had to fight with the camera. The camera was brand new back then. That was something that was not available in any games before that. Mario 64, Wave Race, Pilot Wings, Star Fox, all of those had full 3D maps. And I know I'm sounding like an old school grandpa, why I have that name. But those systems, even back to the Atari, all those systems, watching the graphic advancement and watching how the advancement of graphics, advanced gameplay, makes me appreciate having an Xbox Series X, a PS5, PS4, Xbox One X, PS3, PS2, GameCube. All of these games, all these systems build upon those old systems. That is part of why my handle is Play All Consoles. And I'm not hating on PC games. I have no problem. Like back in the 90s and early 2000s, it was PC versus consoles. People argued that. Oh, PC's this and consoles that and blah, 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 blah. I played PC games. But I played them when there was such a small amount of choices. Like I said earlier, Doom, Wolfenstein. Before that, there was Catacombs 3D. How many of you motherfuckers know about Catacombs 3D? Tell me the truth. I played a game called Heroes Quest, which became Quest for Glory because of copyright issues. I had how many, okay, let me ask this right now, and no one's gonna answer this because I'm streaming to nobody, but if you see the VOD later, how many people remember Radio Shack? And remember their brand Tandy? If you remember those two, then you remember that they made a computer called the TRS-80, the Trash 80. And it was nicknamed the Trash 80. How many people remember when Intel had processors that were called the 8088? or the 8286, 386, whatever. Before Pentium, before the I whatever, there was the 8088. How many people remember PCs before there was PC gaming? I remember playing Wolfenstein and Doom at school because my high school, it was progressive. That was the first time that they had PCs in school. Junior high and elementary school, we had Apple IIe's and all that other shit. I remember playing Oregon Trail, and doing the basic turtle program, whatever. But basic PC gaming was Catacombs 3D, very, very likely unknown. Wolfenstein 3D, Doom, Duke Nukem. I came here to chew gum and kick ass. Bad Duke Nukem. Anyway, those were the games that were PC back in the day. And I played those. But outside of those, there wasn't many that weren't also on a console. Like now, I got Horizon up here on the screen. Granted, I've been talking more than playing. But I got a 55-inch 4K TV. When I do OBS, eventually, when I hook up my OBS capture card, that's going to be on a 19-inch 1080p. Even if it's 144 hertz, doesn't matter. It's 19 inches, the screen. Why would I play on 19 inches? Or back in the day, 13-inch CRT. 13 inches versus anything bigger. Why would I play that? Granted, now, Zoomers and gamers that are older than Zoomers, they got the 40-inch curved screen, whatever's, the 4K screens to replace. I have like 7 flat screen monitors for my computer. I only have 2 hooked up at the moment because I don't have anywhere to put them. But if I could replace them all with 4K monitors, it still would not replace the 55-inch 4K Sony H whatever model I got right now. It does not replace that. I can like sit in my neighbor's crib across the hallway and play this game. My mother, who also games, told me a few years ago she wanted an 80-inch TV because she wears big old bifocals, like worse vision than mine, but she wants an 80-inch screen TV so she can watch that shit from 3 feet away. If I had an 80-inch TV, I would have to sit like 15 feet away with glasses on. She wants an 80-inch TV so she can play Final Fantasy X and Final Fantasy 12, or not 12. What was it? It was Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 2, 13, 13, 2, 13, 3. She wants to play all those on her 80-inch TV. Like, I remember playing Phantasy Star for the Sega Genesis on a 13-inch CRT. And it was a snowy screen. I had to like adjust the If you remember those old CRTs with the click channels 2 to 13, whatever, you had the little knob where you can adjust the accuracy of the reception. UHF, it was analog, not digital. I remember playing that shit on a 13-inch TV. My mom wants an 80-inch digital HD 4K TV in her crib, so she can sit 5 feet away from it and watch it without her glasses. I don't hate on that, but I think it's excessive. Like, do you really need to be 5 feet away from an 80-inch monitor, TV, whatever? Like, seriously. How blind do you have to be 5 feet away from an 80-inch TV? Sorry, Mom, I love you. I wear glasses too. I still don't understand why. Why do you need to be 5 feet away from an 80-inch screen? Anyway, I've been blabbering along enough. Let me get back to gaming. I've been talking to myself because there's no one on my stream. If you happen upon my stream and you find it boring, say something. I will talk to you. I am apparently bored and have nothing else to do with my time. I'm not a big streamer, so individuals who want to come in and talk, I'll talk to you as long as you. Okay, don't be an idiot. Don't be racist. Don't be sexist. Don't be any offending kind of person unless you're. If you're joking, I can take jokes. But if you're gonna just be offensive, hit the door. Let the doorknob hit you where the good Lord split you. I think that's what my mom said back when I was a kid. But if you want to chat with me, I will chat with you. I am obviously a no-person streamer. I have spent this last amount of time talking to myself, which is very hard for me to do. Hence, me babbling. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and play the game. I'm gonna try to say something every so often, but since there's no one there talking to me, it's gonna be hard. So if you walk in to this channel and you see me playing, say something. I will talk back to you. I will try to be friendly. I will try to be communicative. Is that the right word? I will try to be friendly with people who come into my stream. And what the fuck, right? Anyway, game time. Okay, I can't go up there, so tells me I need to leave the village. Oh wait, listen, I can talk to somebody. Oh wait, where'd she go? Ain't that some shit? Okay, let's talk to this dude.
I'll give you my best prices, I promise.
I promise. Okay, I gotta look at stats to figure out which of these is the best bow. Or I could buy all of them. How do I not have enough fucking metal shards? I've been fucking collecting this shit since the beginning. Like, really? Hey, I got a third person watching. Please say hi. I'll talk to you. I promise. This is a naked run through. So I have no clue what I'm doing. I actually own those two, so we'll just go ahead and buy that one.
All right then, time to go.
Good luck.
Time to go.
Aloy.
All right. So I guess we're gonna go ahead and keep going with the game.
For you'll have to tell us when I'm gone. In the beginning, all life came from all mothers. People, machines, and beasts, all were her children. They lived alongside each other.
My father said not to talk to you.
Wild embrace.
Don't talk to me.
Some grew restless. Though they took of her bounty, they wanted more. These were the faithless.
I want to see something.
The machines.
I am someone you do not talk to. Blah blah blah.
Shame that musician. You know, the one.
Otherwise, I would talk to everybody because that's how you do things in RPGs. Oh, I thought the campfire was for saving.
Hot as a forest fire.
Hot as a forest fire. I guess that's not for saving. Okay, we'll sit down here on the stump and stage dancers in full uniform. Okay. Not exactly the same as today's stage dancers, but okay. We can do with that.
Where'd he go?
Oh, we got another merchant. I ain't gonna buy nothing, so we're not gonna.
Every year without fail.
Oh, we got another. Yeah, let's interact. Oh, it's just warming up by the fire. Okay.
This heat crawls.
Here we have a campfire. I can save. Okay, we'll save. Because I've been spending a whole lot of time just bullshitting and talking to my non-existent fans.
On my Mother's Day, I always have a celebration.
So I'm gonna start a poll on YouTube, or not YouTube, Twitter. Actual gameplay, grinding for RPGs. Would you want to be a part of watching, just, if you're watching an RPG, do you want to watch someone grind and do battles over and over and over again, or do you just want to sit there and watch story? Because I'm gonna tell you now, it isn't for the newer systems, but like, if I was to play like Final Fantasy 13, if I played FF13, I have hacked all three of those. I have a hack for those. So if I played those games on stream, it would be a straight story run through. There would be no grinding. There would be no finding items. I have everything. I have all the levels, all the spheres, or whatever they're called. I have everything from the beginning of the game. There are purists who like, oh, that's just wrong, blah, blah, blah. I played the game like 8 times. I allow myself to hack the game. If it is within my ability, I'm allowed to hack the game. Anyone who hates on that, doors over there, hit the exit, go to another stream. I don't care. If you come here and want to watch a stream where it's just the story, don't matter if I hack or not, you're more than welcome. But if you're going to complain because I hacked the game and can beat everybody in one hit from beginning to end, and that bothers you, doors over there. I don't care. I am playing to have fun.
Start the blessing when all aspirants are in place.
Hey, everyone's got their hands up. Oh, they put their hands down. Oh, they got their hands up again. What do they got their hands up for? Anyway. Yeah. If you don't like me, quote unquote, cheating, then go to another stream. I don't care. I'm not on this for making money. If I make money, it'll be great. I ain't gonna lie. If I can make enough money where I don't have to leave the crib, where I can afford to get Grubhub or Uber Eats or other, if I can make that much money, I am not gonna lie, I would love it. But that is not why I'm here. I am here to play games I like in the way I like and share it with people. I was one of the very fortunate dweebs. Dweeb, not weeb. I'm not cool enough to be a weeb. I'm not. I'm not a zoomer. I'm not cool enough to be a zoomer. Anyway, I was fortunate enough that I have had people who like watching me play games. Not a lot, but a couple. Like my baby sister. I didn't realize this until she told me a few years ago, but she said she liked watching me play games because she wasn't as good a gamer as I was at like action games and shit like that. She can play RPGs and all that. Back when we were kids, she was not an action game kid. So she liked watching me play shit like Pitfall. How many of you all know Pitfall? Do you know the game Pitfall? No, probably not. Anyway, she liked watching me play shit like that because her skills, admittedly, were not as good as mine. I was a gamer back then. I'm semi-retired now. Like, I can't no scope 360 sniper rifle shit like I could 15 years ago. I'll still play them, but I'm not nearly as good. But still, I game. My sis games, my mom games, we're not pros. We'd be on fucking those esport tournament whatevers if we gamed. We're not gamers. We enjoy gaming. I have to put this out there because there is a lot of people who do not understand the difference. When I was a kid, I was a gamer. Now that I'm older, I game. Difference. My mom, she games. In fact, she games, she might actually beat you in Tetris. She beat one of my friends, back when I was an actor, she beat one of my friends in Tetris. And actually, okay. Let me explain why I am not a funny person. Let me go grab another beer because this is going to take a bit, and that's part of why I'm not funny. Okay. Reason I'm not funny. Reason my jokes do not make any sense to people outside of my friends who know me. Storytelling. If you play D&D, storytelling is a big thing. But part of the problem with storytelling and part of the problem, like right now, if you tell too many words, your storytelling goes flat. I use too many words. I talk too fucking much. I know this, I don't care, but I'm warning everyone right now who might be listening to this for the first time, whatever. I use too many words. Anyway. The story I'm telling, I had to get back to what the fuck I was thinking. If you tell too many words in a story, people lose any interest. Anyway, fuck, what was I talking about? I was gonna tell a story and I done fucking forgot. Anyway, hold on. The fuck is this? Anyway, so yeah, when I tell a story, I'm like your old uncles and aunts and grandparents. I talk too fucking much and you want me to stop. Unfortunately for them, you have to sit there. But for me, you can walk away anytime you want. I don't care. You don't want to hear me talk? That's fine. I was actually going to get to a point and I went to go get another beer and I forgot. I fucked up. I know it was going to be something about me telling stories, but I forgot. Fuck it. Maybe I'll get back to it later. I mean, I already lost, like, the 2 viewers I have. It's okay. We're going to go ahead and play the game, and if I remember, I will bring it back up.
Let's talk after the blessing. I don't want to piss off the matriarchs. Those are some tough-looking...
Yeah, I don't want to piss off the matriarchs. Hey, there's a lot of... Okay, why is dude the only dude here and everyone else is women? Not that I'm going to complain, but seriously. We got second dude, third dude in the background, fourth, fifth. Why are the dudes in the back and everyone else is women? I mean, I appreciate women's, as Nux would say, whammon, Nux and Noble, they say whammon. But if you look around the whole campsite, all the ones standing are whammon except for dude over there. And then you got a couple dudes sitting down, but everyone else is whammon. Is this a whammon society? Can I join? I mean, I ain't got no problem with that.
Aloy, take your place right there.
Tersa.
The prayer lantern is yours.
Another whammon.
I made it for you.
Blasphemy, sisters.
Aspirants, before each of you sits a prayer lantern
Another whammon.
crafted by your mother. In her honor, light
Oh, we got a
its
dude.
flame.
Set this shit on fire. We're gonna do Ross because Ross has been hooking me up from the beginning of the game.
In honor of Rost. And all he did to help me get here.
Oh, Mother, hear our prayer.
Oh,
What
we
is a
got
child
that.
but a mother's
Don't they do this in
hope that
Japan
takes
with all
flight?
floating
That climbs
candles
the
and shit?
air, set free to the wind, sailing the sky till it fades and falls. So, from one to another passes the chain of love.
The chain of love.
There's Olin. I have some questions for him.
I have some questions for him. There is a whole bunch of women in this. You want to think that gamers are game developers are pandering to
I won't deny them the chance.
the weebs? You. Yeah, back in the day, it was all male NPCs. Now we got female ones, so that I guess us guys will simp over them or whatever.
That blessing wasn't bad. Nice and short, anyway. But I know a half-dozen Oseram tinkers who could put on a better fireworks show.
Simping apparently is
I hope I'm not
a new term
sacred ritual. It was nice.
that I just learned. Delving into the whole YouTube thing. Oh, let's.
Tell me about Olin again.
When he's not scrounging, he's scouting. Exactly the skills you want the man guiding your expedition to have.
See, they talk about men, but there's
He's a
mostly
loyal
women in the game.
companion, cares for his family, holds his drink well enough. I like him, but besides that,
I
not
like
much to
him.
tell.
I've never seen armor like yours before.
You've never seen Vanguard steel? Well, let me introduce you. Ring-locked, impact-protected, sturdy
Yes.
enough to choke a sawtooth. It has to be. The Vanguard of the Sun King's best. Life-takers and machine breakers to a one. Might even give a Nora warmaid like you more trouble than she can handle.
Yeah.
With all that metal to slow you down? I doubt it.
Yeah, hard to say. From where I'm standing, looks like a pretty even match.
Your sister. That just sounds so bad. That just sounds so bad. But we're gonna ask it anyway.
Your sister was taken captive and sacrificed. That's terrible.
That's terrible.
Captive, yes. Sacrificed, no. It takes more than a few cards to finish Ursa. She got away, and now she's my captain. Captain of the entire
Captain.
Vanguard. Favored by the Sun
Densho.
himself.
How did she survive?
Oh, that's a story, all right, but it takes a while to tell. Maybe another time over a drink or three?
Oh,
or just
damn,
come
hand
to
on her.
Meridian and meet her yourself. I think you'd like each other. You're both rather, direct.
He wants to get some.
Tell me about the derangement again.
Well, the way I
tell
hear
me
it,
about that.
15, 20 years ago, the machines weren't always pissed off like they are now. When a hunter came at them, they'd spook and run. So it was hard to take them down, but not dangerous, so long as you were smart enough to jump out of the way.
But
then the derangement starts up and everything changes.
Of course.
Now, when a hunter fires a shot, the machines snarl and charge right at him. A few more years pass and they start attacking people on sight. Going anywhere becomes a major risk. If that wasn't bad enough, entirely new kinds of machines start showing up. Bigger,
meaner, and heavily armed.
Like the Sawtooth.
Yeah, 10 years ago. That long, believe me.
So what's making it happen?
And no one knows. And the machines, well, they aren't telling.
Just how big is Meridian? What's it like?
Where do I even start? My tribesmen are masters of the forge, the best tinkers in the world. But when it comes to building, the Karja have us beat. The city soars over a canyon with more bridges than the Nora have roads and buildings tall as mountains. And across the valley stands the spire, like a blade thrust into the sky, reflecting the sun. You really owe it yourself to see it. So consider that a challenge. Or an invitation.
Who are the Oseram?
Oh, that's my tribe, far to the northwest. We're good at three things: arguing, working steel, and brewing.
Freebooters. What are those?
I guess you could say we were mercenaries, warriors for pay. Except a lot more loyal than that makes us sound. Avad couldn't have taken down his father without our metal and muscle. And now, some of us serve proudly as his personal vanguard.
I want to ask you about something you said before.
Ask away.
I want to ask you about something you said before.
Ask away.
I've never seen armor like yours before.
You've never seen Vanguard steel? Well, let me introduce you. Ring-locked, impact-protected, sturdy enough to choke a sawtooth. It has to be. The Vanguard of the Sun King's best. Life-takers and machine-breakers.
Blah, 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 blah.
Might even give a Nora warmaid like you more trouble than she can handle.
With all that metal to slow you down? I doubt it.
I doubt it.
Yeah, hard to say. From where I'm standing, looks like a pretty even match. Yeah, well, good luck in that proving
thing.
Maybe I'll see you in Meridian someday. Who knows?
Who knows? I could just fall down, but we're gonna be considerate and walk down nicely. If we can find it.
I wish we got to enjoy this every night, not just special occasions.
Funny. I had a dream with you in it. You were running toward a machine. Spear drawn.
Ah, this brings me back.
Of course, everyone's gonna ignore her.
Excuse me. I'm a bit distracted at the moment.
I'm a bit distracted at the moment. But I still glow.
Motherless chuff.
Motherless chuff. Why you gotta diss this girl?
Find your bed, outcast, and dream of winning the proving. That's the closest you're gonna get.
I thought they weren't supposed to talk to her. Smack him. Smack him.
This is the bed house? With you standing guard, I figured it was the latrine.
You're very kind.
There you go. Make him feel his place.
Well,
Bitch.
well. Look who's come in from the wild. The motherless outcast. I see you've still got a scar from where that rock I threw hit you. Now that's a cherished memory.
You can be a real lard sometimes, boss. Cut it out.
Tell him some shit.
Where's your bite, outcast? Or did you need my permission to speak in the presence of a true Nora?
I probably am not allowed to whoop his ass, but I would want
You
to.
didn't know the words to the blessing, did you? But no one hears your prayers anyway.
Wouldn't want to cross her.
We saw you talking with the outsiders. Couldn't convince them to take you either, huh?
I am so gonna whoop that dude's ass.
You didn't know the words to the blessing, did you? But no one hears your prayers anyway.
She looks serious.
We saw you talking with the outsiders. Couldn't convince them to take you
Are you
either,
gonna let
huh?
boss talk to you that way? I wouldn't.
Exactly. I wouldn't either. I'm not gonna.
Where's your bite, outcast? Or did you need my permission to speak in the presence of a true Nora?
Wouldn't want to cross her.
We saw you talking with the outsiders. Couldn't convince them to take you either, huh?
Oh, she's gonna so whoop his ass.
Aw, you even try to dress like a real Nora. Not that it fools anyone.
So this is how it's gonna be with you, is it?
This is how it's gonna be with everyone, outcast.
Whoop
You
his
belong in
ass.
the wilds, not Mother's heart. And you definitely don't belong in the proving.
The only way you know how to feel strong is to make someone else feel weak. It's not working.
It's not
I've
working.
trained all my life. You'll see tomorrow how strong I am.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
seen plenty. You grew a man's body, kind of. But down deep, you're still a scrawny little brat.
You know, I often think of the day I gave you that scar. It's a cherished memory.
Yeah. The look on your face when I knocked that stone out of your hand was pretty entertaining. But I suppose you leave that part of the story out when you tell it, don't you?
I branded you that day to mark your shame.
All you did that day was make me stronger. Just wait. I'll show you tomorrow.
Beat his ass.
Yeah, right. This is boring. Time for boss to get some sleep. You'll be the one surprised tomorrow, outcast. Not me.
Oh, are you gonna shut your mouth? Because that would be a surprise.
Woo!
Nice job handling Bast. That should keep him quiet. Till
Yeah.
morning, anyway.
I don't believe we've met. I'm Aloy.
Oh, I know who you are. The competition. The others, they'll finish the proving. Most of them. But win it? That's down to Bast, you, or me. Vala.
Nice to meet you, Vala. You're right. I am going to win tomorrow.
Never celebrate a victory before it's earned, girl.
Yeah.
My mother taught me that. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna get some sleep. I plan to be well rested when I run you into the ground tomorrow. Your bunk's right there when you want it.
Okay. Thanks.
Thanks. Okay, I don't know what I should be upgrading, but I'm gonna go ahead and just put some shit on there. Oh shit! I done lost my video. That's some bullshit. Okay, since I lost video, I'm gonna go ahead and kill the stream. But I want to say thank you to anyone who's been watching my shit. I should have had this fixed, but anyway. Till next time. Peace out, homies.